Welcome back, guys. Detailing with Gary. Today we're going to be doing all the door panels, the seats, and then the mats. We're going to show you guys how to get all that dirt and just like some light dust off. So we're going to be using this all-purpose cleaner. You can use it for anything like scuffs and then any like dirt and stuff you see inside. So since it's not so dirty and we just want to get a light dust, I just grabbed myself a cup and then we're just gonna spray a little bit in here, maybe 4 or 5, so it kind of like mixes. And then we're gonna be using our 2 brushes. We're gonna use our smaller brush for all these small little areas, and then the bigger one once we get into the open areas. So it's gonna be pretty simple. And then with any dirty towel or anything you have, dirty microfiber, doesn't matter, towel or whatever, we're just gonna wipe down once we're done, so it could give us that nice clean look, and then we don't have any more dust. So let's get right to it. Alright guys, so here's the door panel right here. We're just gonna mix it. You could also add soap if you want, but if you just don't really want to, you don't have to. So then we're just gonna start from the top here. It's already kind of like foamy. You want to try to get all your edges once the brush starts getting dry, and then you could do circular motions here because it really doesn't really matter. It's not paint or anything. And then just kind of work yourself down. Get in between that door, all those little areas inside here where dirt can be trapped. Alright, so as we got into the smaller areas, we're gonna switch over to a bigger brush. I left it in here. So now the bigger brush for the bigger spots. And it's in really straight motions here. Now since the speakers are right there, you really don't want to get it really too wet, so just some light right there. And then you always want to get the bottom of your door edges and then on the sides here too. Sure if you guys can see right here, but on the side right here, you want to get all of that. And the bottom of here. And then inside any little compartments areas. And then once you got every single area, then you're just gonna take your, doesn't have to be clean, it can be clean, but then we're just gonna take that microfiber towel, go around all the edges or however you prefer. get inside there. There's a couple hairs. And then make sure it's nice and dry. And then the same thing for the top. And then once you don't see any running spots of water, then you should be all set. And then that's basically it, guys, for your door. So once you're done with that, you're done with your door. And then you could apply protection if you want to. So then next we're going to be moving on to these seats and little side panels on the side. Alright guys, moving on to the seats. We're going to basically do the same process, maybe less water. We'll start from the top to bottom. Work our way down. Get all these edges. Put in between those cracks. And then the same thing here. Hopefully you guys can see there. Just a little quick little rinse. Make sure you get all the way towards the bottom where it ends on the side of the seats. And then you get the headrest up here. Now on the side where you usually change the seat to go forward and back, we're just gonna hit it real light, not too crazy. And see the seat right there, I lost a little string. Those knobs. Alright guys, so then once you're done with that, you're basically gonna dry the same thing like you did with the door panel. And then you have your microfiber towel. Down there, right there. In between. And then now the seat. Same thing for the seat. Your microfiber towel. Get in between in there. And make sure it kind of gets dry. Flip it to clean side. Get your headrest. That side of the seat a little bit inside. Alright guys, and then after that you're all set. Now let's move on a little bit of the move into the dashboard and stuff. Alright guys, moving into the dash area. As you can see, it's a light dust, nothing too crazy. So we just want to clean all that stuff out, you know, so it could be nice and clean. Get these dirty vents clean. Same with this. So let's show you guys how to do that. Alright guys, using the same process with just our cup of water and then our little brush. We'll use the big one since it's a bigger spot. So then the same process. Get all those spots. Nice and clean. And then now on towards the bottom. Try to get as far back as you can, so that way whenever you dry it, you can get most of that stuff off. You can also go in 2 directions, so like side to side, and then to finish it off, just back and forth, so that way it kind of crosses, so you get every like little inch or whatever, just in case you miss the spot. And all the vents, flip it up. And then right here, as you guys can see, there's like 3 little spots. Get into the side, the back. And then after you guys are done with a part, you could do the whole thing or however you feel comfortable, but since it might dry or whatever, I just want to get that light dust off. So again, grab yourself that microfiber towel and then go wherever you want, and then just go back and forth with it until it's pretty dry. And then after we use this side, we're going to move on to this cleaner side. Back and forth. Get in between those vent areas. And then since this side is a little bit dry, we're going to use our water side for here, since that's where the water mostly gets collected. It's kind of a downhill. Alright, and then now dry it up. So far, this little section over here is looking pretty good. And then next we'll be moving on towards this area over here. You really don't want to apply as much water because all the electrical stuff. So you really don't want to turn it on right away, just kind of let it sit for a while. If not, you'll blow a fuse or something. So then let's show you guys the dash. Look at how clean it is, guys, compared to that other side. It's pretty dusty. All that dust right there, there's a whole bunch of dust. Now we move over here, nice and clean. We still have to clean this one, just that the camera really can't reach that far. So then next, let's move on to this one right here, and then that one. But then check this one out, pretty clean. Because that brush gets into those deeper spots that you can't really get to. Like that's as far as my finger gets, so with the brush it really helps get all that off. Clean that right there too. Okay, so now moving on over here, the same thing. Grab our brush, dip it in some water. Get our little in there, around. All the little sides. And then as you let the water kind of dry, just do a little light pass. Nothing too crazy. Light little pass over here. And then now as we don't move on where that is. out right there. Now I'll get this radial dash swap. This didn't have too much crazy dust, but still. And then again, once you're done, grab your towel. Start from the side you started, or you could work yourself from top to bottom, however you feel more comfortable. Oh, this one had a little cup holder thing. Now this one is clean, so you don't really have to do much to it, but let's say if there was gum or anything, then that's where you would actually have to scrub it harder. So you would take all these little flappy things off and then rinse them and scrub them. And since it isn't too bad, you don't really have to do that. You got her screen cleaned. Shifting and turn there. Get all your sides. It's looking a lot better. That black is not really as dull. Alright guys, here are the results. We still got just a little fuzz right there, but other than that we're good. And then next we'll be moving on towards that side, but then first we're gonna do this little spot right here. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of like little crumbs and dust. So let's try to get all that nasty little stuff off there. It's probably harder for you guys to tell, but since it is a smaller area and then it's kind of the closed spot, we'll be using a little bit of more water. You just want to go the direction, since the lines are kind of going this way. We're going to work our brush this way so that way they could kind of get off. And then just work them out to one side. And then you guys want to get these little rails, any plastic that you see basically. All that dirtiness. And then as we finish that, grab our towel again, microfiber. Oh, it wasn't locked. And then just basically dry it. Now while that mostly dries a little bit, it's going to be for you guys to see, so I'll just have to show you guys at the end. Well, I'm going to be working on this middle console. So as you guys can tell right here, since I just finished cleaning it off, it's still slightly wet. But then as you guys can see all right here, there was a whole bunch of dust. Now on the side right there, I forgot about that. So since it is a little bit wet, it looks way better than how it looked before. And then also this area, there was a whole bunch of little crumbs and stuff. It's still slightly wet, but no problem. But huge improvements. So far, so good. So we're gonna be moving on to this side, and then yeah. Here's the before we start anything. There's a light layer of dust, nothing too crazy. So let's knock this side out. Our water here. We're gonna start in the little dash area. And then that glass area we can wipe. Set your cup somewhere, and then we're gonna start from this side of the dash. Getting all the little crevices. And then at your Walmart or any place, you guys could always find protectants. Right now at the time I don't have one, but hopefully soon I can go and grab one. But I just wanted to clean the white dust off this truck. Oh, is it nothing too crazy, but just to knock something light off. And then this truck isn't really badly damaged, so that's why it has this. But otherwise, if it was really bad, then you guys can also take this off. It's not that hard. Just pull it off and then it comes right off. Get all those knobs. Set your brush down, and then same process. So now we're gonna switch over to that other fluffier side, and then just start cleaning it. So in the cup of water, I added just a tiny drop of the car wash soap, and then a couple sprays of the NYX Professional. And then basically the cup was full of water, so you guys can do that. You don't have to use the all-purpose cleaner. You could just use soap. It'll still work fine. But if you're looking to get rid of stains and stuff, then you'll just need a microfiber towel and the all-purpose cleaner or any detailing spray that you could find at the store. Get all around. Go over it again. And then go around by your windshield wipers and then your turning signal. Real light. And then that's it, guys, for this dash. So now on this truck, it's nice and clean. There's no more layer of dust all around. Next, we're going to be moving on to that rear side door and then showing you guys the same thing. Alright guys, so now moving on to this side right here. There's some dirt and stuff, so we're gonna knock that off with we're gonna get this little bit here. It has that hex side, and then we got our drill. So this one's really easy to put on. You're just gonna squeeze this to the top, and then it falls right down in place. To take it off, the same thing, pull it up, and then to put it in, it just slides off. So then we're gonna grab the same thing, our cup. We're just gonna pour a little bit of the water there. A little bit more. And then we're just gonna drill until it's basically kind of gone. Put something on the drill bit area so it kind of gets soaked. And then as it kind of starts drying, just gonna pour a little bit more. And then after you think it's pretty good or clean enough, you're gonna take your towel, anything you want to dry it with, and then just go back and forth until it's dry enough. It was kind of like muddy black stains, so now it should be. So now it's good. It looks nice and tan, how it did before, matching on this color. Nice and dry here. So yeah guys, that's it for this whole section here. Now let's move on to this rear door panel. And then I really don't feel like, not that I don't feel like doing the seats, but they're pretty clean because I usually drive just in the front. So there's nothing too crazy, so I'm just gonna do a light pass on this section right here. And then as you guys can see, it's a bit dirty here too. And then right here, there's just a couple crumbs, which ain't too bad. But then yeah guys, let's move on to this side. Alright guys, so same process as on that side. Just to get that light dust off, we're gonna start from the top, kind of let the water come to the bottom. We're gonna work in this little area here. And in between these cup holders, there's two. And then once it kind of dries up, I usually like to start from that top here, so that way the water just kind of drips down instead of starting from the bottom, and then it's just gonna all pour back down. And then not necessarily you're wasting water, but it's kind of like pointless because you could just start from the top, let all that dirt go to the bottom, and then it'll still be a little bit wet. And then yeah. Get in between here. Nobody really gets on these back seats, so there's not a whole bunch of dirt. But just to kind of minimize the dirt, just get it a little clean. And then as we kind of finish right there, we're gonna grab our microfiber towel again, and then clean this side. So that way as we move towards the bottom, this side kind of gets dry enough. And in between this little door jamb area. Same on this side. Inside cup holders. right here, there's a bit of more water. And then for little windshield knobs things, you can always grab a little edge right here, and then hopefully your finger fits there, and then just kind of scrub it a little bit. So now this top door is pretty dry enough. So now let's move on. So the bottom half, guys, the same thing. We're gonna take your brush, where I left off right here. There's a little crack right here, dirt could come in maybe. Now let's get this. Now this brush is pretty tall, so it could, here's my hand. My hands aren't really that small, but then as you guys can see, it's pretty long, so it can get in between those spaces. And then now by the speaker areas. And then you guys also want to get these edgings right here. All the way towards the bottom. Also, when you guys wash cars, it's nice a lot of the times to clean these door jambs, because a lot of the water stays there. And then especially in Chicago, where it snows, and then a lot of like salt and stuff gets here, so always rinsing out your vehicles minimizes from getting like rust on your car. And then now we're gonna dry it. Same process. Alright guys, so that's this door right here. So then as you guys can tell, now it's clean. We got that light dust off. And then now we're gonna be moving on to this little door spot area. Here we're just gonna use that all-purpose cleaner. I'm gonna show you guys on that, because since of the drill thing, you probably won't get much on there. So then we're just gonna do a little wipe with their hand, and then let's get right to it. So on that part, the same thing. We're gonna grab one of our brushes, or if you got something to spray it on, empty bottle. We're just gonna lay it up on there. Just some kind of good soap. And then go over it with the drill. So as it starts to dry and that dirt starts to minimize, once you think it's good enough, go over it and then dry it. That bottom little step right there too. So now guys, it looks pretty good now. This is how it looked before right there. So now we're gonna get our all-purpose cleaner and then just show you guys the kind of job it does. Alright guys, so here we got our all-purpose cleaner. We're just gonna give it a spray so it kind of drips down. And then as that happens, we're just gonna wipe it down. And then just basically go around the whole little plastic spot. As it's dripping down, I just felt like going up this time. And then just any spot that you see dirt and stuff, you just wanna, you could also pour it on the microfiber towel. You don't have to spray it directly on there. So then you can do a couple tiny drops right there. And then with that same corner, you're just gonna rub it up against it. And then just like that, it should be all good. Alright guys, so as you guys can tell, there it is. It's all clean now, all up on the edge. And then as you guys can see, I cleaned these door jambs before, so they're not as dirty. That's a little chip right there from the seatbelt, which is okay. So yeah guys, that's basically gonna be it for today's video. That's just the reflection from the light right there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below on futuristic videos, anything you guys want to see, or any product comparisons that you want me to do. But as you guys can see, this all-purpose cleaner worked out well. But with all that said, see you guys next time. Have a great day, great night, and peace.